Looks like we have
what?
We have about 4 minutes. But when you guys go back on, go ahead and mention and apologize for difficulties. You know that we are recording this, so when we'll re-upload it with a better quality.
We did it earlier, but we will also.
And then thank the guy. What's his name?
I don't know.
Richard?
He's not in there. He's up there. Randall, relax. Breathe, bro. Breathe.
I saw you coming out and I went, oh my God.
Randall, relax.
So real quick, I know you're busy doing stuff, but
yeah, in closing.
Well, what?
What are you gonna do? You know you gotta figure things out.
Huh?
I said you gotta figure things out when things go wrong.
Who?
You. How do you mean?
What do I got? I'm so confused.
What's up?
So, yeah, so that's a great story right there. You know, this is impressive. This is what we've been saying. We were out, and what did he say? He was saying, oh, things are going to work out better in the second half. He said, hey, we're going to blame Chip. We're going to blame Chip, right?
Yeah.
I'll do the blaming. Don't worry about it.
Go ahead, Blake. Chip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did he tell you about the guy we were talking about? We were talking to the guy in the bathroom. I don't really want to put it that way, but anyway. And he's wearing the Rage.
He's in the
Fury.
He's not right now, but he's.
No, that wasn't the guy that was talking. That was a different guy.
I know he wasn't talking. He's a spotter for him. He's the guy with the binoculars.
No, there was a different guy. It was the kid with the little kid. The guy with the little kid. It was a completely different guy.
Okay. I thought you were talking about the other guy.
Do you ever drug test these guys?
You can drug test me over and over again. It's going to come back clean.
So anyway, we're in there. And
I don't know about you. It's like a hippie-ish for me.
I'm
So you stick to meth and cocaine.
No, what he's doing, heroin, or not heroin.
Anyway, in closing.
LSD, actually. They don't get to. Oh, yeah, so you say that, then you say grab it. Okay, so anyway, the guy's there, he's waiting for his kid. And he said, second half, we underestimated it. I know we're 25-0. How do you underestimate? He says, well, see, we've watched every one of your games. And he goes, and we haven't played them. We've been playing. Yeah, so we'll be okay. So that's what he said. It's your fault. So we got to blame.
Get on.
So we're going to work that in to blame. And I didn't want to have this one blame.
Okay, so we're down one camera because I had to reconfigure this to work.
Does that mean?
I had to think of something and it got working, at least for now. So, yeah, so you can't see yourself, so.
Damn! I'm going home then.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, no.
What are all my millions of fans watching around the world going to say?
Hey,
I don't like this one that comes on here because I don't know when it's coming on.
this one, this quote right here,
The battery.
no, it's died. It doesn't work, it went dead. That's
It's a
why.
wireless card.
A wireless adapter.
Yeah, this is not working. I'm having trouble getting the numbers. What I need to do, if we go on, is write the numbers by position so I can just sit through it and go, right? You know what I'm saying?
I like it just like this.
Because I can't read that. I would do that, but I can't read that.
Oh, I can read it.
I can read it. Well, wait a minute. The in-booth camera's off, right?
Yeah, so you can pick up and read whatever you want.
Yeah, no, I can do that. These are my notes for the game, which I've only used one.
45 seconds. There's a clock over there.
Hello. Testing 895.
Beautiful commercial. See how good it looks here?
Yeah, I know. I see it.
What?
Now, this one here is a little bit. So we'll just be showing people walking around.
You see up there?
He went down there.
What do you know the camera goes right now?
Going that way.
Here, this looks good. Yeah? You're saying it looks good. It's kind of blurry. Thank you.
Hello and welcome back for the second half of this broadcast of Apache Wolf Productions of your Puyallup Nation Kings versus the Capital City Fury. It's been quite a first half. There's been a lot of plays on both offense, defense, and all around. Randall and I actually were taking a break here, and we ended up talking to one of the fans of the opposing team, and he said, "Hey, you know, these guys have watched the video of all of your broadcasts. They've actually had a chance to watch and study our plays, our schemes, our tendencies. So they have a slight advantage over us in that aspect." And he said, "Watch out, because they're going to come out as a different team in the second half." I also anticipate the same thing from our Kings.
Yep.
I figure they're going to come out and be a different team coming out in the second half as well, making the adjustments they need to be a dominant team again in the second half.
Yeah, and the guy was even a little more specific. In fact, it kind of bothered me that, you know, he's actually blaming our boss, Chip Begay, and it's his fault, because if you recall, what he said was, we've watched every game, and he said, you guys haven't played anyone. He said that your games have been such a blowout on your part that you've had no close games, and that's something we mentioned earlier, was that one thing about the opposing team, about Sacramento, is they've had 5 games within 2 touchdowns. They've had a couple of games within 2 or 3 points. And so he was adamant about that well, we underestimated you guys because we've watched all your films and we haven't watched any of them. So that's one thing. It's time to expand C-Game Live to the entire league and to all the leagues. And we would love to be involved with that, I got to tell you.
I think that'd be a great idea.
Yep.
In fact, these guys out here, they do have a chance to watch all the game film, but we can actually use that to our advantage. We can play against our own tendencies and actually disrupt them. They think they know our snap counts. They think they know this. Well, we can change those things, and we can come out in the second half here and become a different team. And I would not say that we have played nobody. The Portland Raiders were a very good team, and they kept it close for the first half. And, well, that's what we're at right now. We'll see what they can do here in the second half. Apparently, the Fury is the team that was beat by us in the national championship last season. So the ball is kicked out of the end zone, and that's going to be a touchback. So the Kings will take over the ball on the 20-yard line.
Well, the thing is, I never was real good with math, but apparently they're 25-0 and we're 25-0, and I'm sure that there's less than 25 games played in the season, so I'm not quite sure. Maybe explain this. I'm not quite sure how we could have beat them last year and they would be 25-0. Now, if anyone out there can answer this, but I don't see how we played each other.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just told by one of the Fury players, actually, that they lost to us in Las Vegas, so maybe he was playing for a different team at that time. I guess that's very possible too. But they're out here. Number 99 actually told me all about it. So we'll see what happens here. Maybe they just don't count the championship game as a loss. So
I like 99 too as a number. I have found that people number 99 tend to tell the truth. So I don't know where to go here.
So the Kings will take the ball here to start the second half. They'll take it from their own 20-yard line. First down and 10. Showing pressure. Takes the snap.
He got through, picked up by the running back.
Goes down in the backfield. Some helmets rolling there. They took that snap under center there, which is something that we don't see a lot from the Kings.
And the thing is that Blitz went right into the running game. However, he was picked up by the lead back, and sometimes when that happens, when they blitz into a lead back, that opens a hole and you can see a big gain. Unfortunately, that's not what happened there.
So it's going to bring up second down. It was a loss of about 2 yards on the play, so it's going to be second down and 12 on this next play.
And that's one thing. Sometimes you see a blitz coming at you, run an ISO at that blitzer. That can be a good way to nullify the blitz.
Last year was the Silver State Stallions that the Kings played in the championship.
Throws it deep down the right side. Got a man. Oh, just misses it. Intended receiver Pierre Colover.
Yeah, that's a couple of real tough catches that he didn't make because they're real tough catches, but that would have been an awfully nice play. And that's, again, we talk about how we just really enjoy watching our quarterback Cruz. He has the confidence, although with single coverage there, Abel was well covered. He has the confidence to put it up there and let his receiver go get it. That was a long incompletion.
It's going to bring up third down. Third down and 10. 4 wide, 1 back, shotgun set, takes the snap, looks downfield, has a man at the marker, and just gets knocked out of the hands of Mike Waller Jr. there. He kind of tried to set right there beyond the first down the line to gain.
Let's run that again if we can. Watch our left offensive tackle. He's running. We missed what it was a pretty good move. The defensive end for the Sacramento team was upfield hard and fast, and our left offensive tackle did a good job getting up there and running it on past the quarterback. And that's a good offensive technique. The guy makes a quick move on you, just run him on up past the quarterback.
Oh, and to correct myself from my earlier comment, it was actually the Stallions versus the Kings in the championship game in Las Vegas last year, where the Kings prevailed to win their second straight national championship.
Nalu Salu was the tackle that did a good technique there, running the quick defensive end passes quarterback. Number 56, Nalu Salu.
Paul Dickey back to punt. Low snap. Just barely gets it off. Maybe got it tipped. And it gets brought down. That's going to be in Kings territory there, 33-yard line.
Run that again. He absolutely got it. Kicked 2 guys off on the right-hand side of our line. Sometimes what happens is
Wow, they came in untouched too.
and that's what happens is that you want to get down and cover the kick. And so lots of times what you see is defensive guys, they just try to keep the offense, the kicking team, from getting downfield. You see it all the time. The defenders aren't rushing at all. I suspect they set them up this way. You see it all the time. See it in the pros, see it in college, where the defender, the punt returners are on the defensive line, don't even rush. They just try to keep the line from getting downfield to cover the punt. And that may have been what happened there, was that they rushed and the line was just trying to get downfield to cover the punt.
1st and 10 from the Kings 32-yard line. The Fury take over.
Bad position for us.
Fakes the handoff, looks down the middle of the field, got a man, got to inside position, and gets tackled down about the 1-yard line. They're going to spot him at the 2.
I mean, that looked like good coverage. Holy mackerel. The number 13, who we have as Stogsdill on our field up at the top of the screen, good rush, went right by his guy. I mean, he was there, and here's again, right? The quarterback 1, 2, 3 back and throws. You can't get to him, and our guy was right there. If he'd pumped one time, we would have got him.
Yeah, it's hard once you get behind the receiver as a defender to be able to make that play on the ball. You're trying to punch it out from behind the guy, and if he just keeps the ball outside of his, your reach, then it's impossible for you to pump the ball out. So the Fury will take the ball here from the 2-yard line.
Yeah, and this is a big one right here because they have the 6-point lead. Right, you need a touchdown and an extra point to take the lead here, and now they score here. So this is a big series. It would be real good to make a pickoff here.
Take the ball under center, 3 backs, make a big stop there. That's a great play there.
Wow.
Jumps in the backfield there. That's Sean Parker with the tackle. He comes in and takes the heels.
Look at how he hit in there. That was solid wall in the interior of the defensive line.
So the Fury will try again here. 2nd down and goal from the 2-yard line.
So hold them here on the run, and then they're probably going to have to throw it. In the backfield deep. Yes.
Yes, they make the stop there. They're going to keep him back about the 2-yard line again on that play. Looked like he had some room to run. We'll take a look at it here.
And look at how it's a deep handoff. Not that that's necessarily wrong, but you hand it off that deep, then you give the defense a chance to react to it. And one thing at the point of attack, I didn't see his number, but the defensive tackle down there left of the offensive line, of the Kings line, did a great job of taking them on and stopping the charge.
That was Paul Stevens, number 99.
Was that who that was?
That was up in the middle there that made the stop and slowed him down there.
And look at here, right off to the right. Look at the hit in there, and boom! That was what made the play right there. And they're solid. The thing is that, again, it's not wrong, but you often are a little leery about handing the ball off deep in the backfield on the goal line. That does give the running back a chance to search for a hole, make a cut, but it also gives the defense the opportunity to rally to the ball, and that's one thing on the goal line. Lots of time pursuit isn't as valuable or as important because by the time you get to the ball, they could be over the goal line. So what you need there is a big, powerful inside charge like we had from the interior left side of our defensive line, so that then the people rallying to the ball are able to just to swarm on the ball carrier.
So we have a injury timeout. Number 51, Fa'aloa, is coming out of the game. He's slow to get up and being walked off the field by some of the trainers, but he's under his own power, so that's good to see. Hopefully he's all right. We'll see what they're going to do here. They got, again, 3rd down on the goal line. They've got about 1 yard to gain for a touchdown. We'll see if they try to do some more power running. They got, looks like almost 2 fullbacks and a running back in the play, and the quarterback is under center. Takes the snap, hands off to the back. Got the outside edge and gets in there for a touchdown. So they tried to, up the middle twice, and then they decided to bounce it to the outside, and they go ahead and get that touchdown in there.
One thing, too, is that play before, number 55, Christopher Vala, the defensive tackle, he was also in there as another one of the stalwart defenders on the line. So he had a part of stopping the charge of the running back to play before. So I want to give Christopher Vala a shout-out there.
So that with that score, it's going to bring the Kings 18, Fury 30, with 10:49 to go here in the third quarter. They made a big defensive stop, and they got in and blocked that punt and set themselves up with great field position, and it only took 30 yards to get in for the touchdown. As they line up for the extra point here. Kick is up. Kick is good. And we got some pressure in there, actually. There was pretty close to being blocked on that. With that extra point, it's going to be 18-31.
It's
the
still
Fury lead.
Yeah, still less than the 2 touchdowns. That's the big one right there, right? Especially when you're playing against a good defense. 2 touchdowns, we can make that happen, and that will give us the lead. So we're not panicking, right? But now would be a good time, as opposed to another time. And now would be a real good time for the Kings to step up and make something happen on offense.
Yeah, the Fury came out and had a good defensive stand against the Kings.
They did,
and then the Kings unfortunately got that punt blocked, which just gave them great field position. And it's hard to stop a team for 30 yards, of the caliber of either one of these teams here today. We'll see what they can bring, though. The Kings are very versatile, and they can come with different types of plays and different strategy, and we'll see what they have to offer here on this next drive.
Yeah, punt block is horrible, right? And that's something you can't discount. That holy mackerel, you can't let that happen. But again, all game we've been talking about, that is not something where they're just getting beat up play after play after play. You can't let them punt a block, but that's something that probably isn't going to happen again.
The kick is up. A little miscommunication maybe on who is receiving that. Waller Jr. gets the ball, has a seam, makes a couple men miss, gets up to about the 34-yard line. It's a good return there.
Good return, and people and bodies flying all over the place. This is still one heck of an intense game.
Yeah, that's what you like to see, actually. Special teams is important to get good field position and get them to get the momentum, and can actually build momentum for your team as well. So
good. That's a good point, Ray, because that's a good indication that the Kings were not down. Right, we're intense, we're enthusiastic, and this is going to be one heck of an interesting series of plays. And I think we're going to do it. I actually do. I think we're starting to dial in on what they're doing. I think we're getting an idea. There's been a couple of almost big plays, almost, and then bang, we hit it.
Yeah, exactly. Got some personnel moving around on the field here,
and they're having some trouble figuring it out. Showing blitz
to take the snap. Backing off the pressure. Goes deep down the sideline. Ball is incomplete. Intended for Mike Waller Jr., number 3.
Looks like Mike Waller might have thought that he got bumped a little bit. Maybe not. I'm not quite sure. But, interesting, again, we talk about Coach McCutcheon, the offensive coordinator, comes up with all kinds of stuff. They were trips down to the bottom of the screen here, and they went all the way, one single guy to the top, sent him right down the sidelines. That's a good, smart play right there. A long incompletion.
Yeah, we've seen that play quite a few times so far this game. A few times it's been complete and been great, and then on other multitude of times it has not been complete.
But close.
Cruz rolls out to the side, throws it out. Pass intended for Darnell Thompson. Pass incomplete.
I have seen more missed completions. Yeah, I'm not necessarily the drop. That was up a little bit, but I've seen in this game our receivers, and we are spoiled. I know I'm spoiled. I expect our receivers to make these huge catches all the time, and but there's been a few here that maybe in the past we would expect them to make. Not that they were drops, but that was one that you think you might catch in other situations.
Yeah, sometimes it's the little things that can change a game dramatically.
Sure can, like a block punt.
Like a block punt. For an interception return for a touchdown.
They're moving the pocket a little bit out.
Cruz steps up, makes a man miss, goes down in the backfield, gets taken down for a sack, the 25-yard line. A little bit of a breakdown there on the offensive line. They showed some pressure. They got in and they made him pay.
And I think the bothersome thing here is that I think that was an inside guy. So Cruz has been stepping up pretty good, and so that's actually an indication that the inside guys have been doing a good job of protecting it because we see the quarterback step up into the pocket. We've seen that a lot this game, and that's an indication that the interior guys are doing a pretty good job. In this case, he had some time, though. He did have some time to throw the ball. He stepped up, and this time the guy was there, number 56, to take him down, and that was a big play. We're deep in territory, and now we got to turn it back over to him.
We got to put some max coverage on this punt so that we can not get this ball blocked again. We paid for it last time. There's a penalty flag out there.
Yeah, and